In 2020, we built our first deck. It was our very first outdoor project and it was a very big undertaking, but we loved the way that it came out. And as you can see, our dog loves it too. Followed up in 2021, our second COVID project was to make this raised garden out of tumbled pavers. And now to bring it all together, in 2022, we built this patio in the front of the house. Now let's take those giant pavers and connect the front of the house to the back of the house. The first part in this process will be to get rid of this black edging here that was installed when we built the house in 2016. As you can see, it's coming out pretty easily here. Starting to struggle a little bit. And all right, I need two hands. I'm gonna put this camera down and get the rest of this taken out. Let's roll that intro. Now that I got two hands, you can see this black plastic edging from Home Depot is just flying out of the ground. When we first moved in, this was just something to start landscaping the property and break up the house from the lot. As you can see now, we got all the edging out. I got a lot of cleanup to do in this garden on the side of the house. Now that we have this clean slate here, we got to go and dig out the trench for our pavers. This part of the process is very straightforward. It's just step on the edger and move over. I got this edger from my father-in-law for free. Otherwise, another thing you can do is rent equipment to cut a line in there, and you still have to dig it up, but then at least it kind of gets some of the heavy lifting out of the way and the repetitive stepping of the shovel, going back and forth. Either way, in my case, this is about 45 feet, give or take. And so it wasn't too bad. It was just about an hour's worth of work of going every 6 inches, step on a shovel. To continue moving on here, you can see I'm pounding in stakes at both ends of this section here and in the middle to create a string line to make sure everything stays in line as we go. Luckily, in this case, it's a pretty level ground, so I don't have to worry about elevation changes and making sure everything lines up. But because it is such a very long stretch of about 45 feet, we probably want to make sure it stays flat the entire time instead of slanting one way or another. Tumbled stones are forgiving, they're just not that forgiving to be if you're that far out of level. I'm using Paver base from Home Depot, and it's a mixture of sand and stones to create that base for the pavers to stand on, because in these cases here, they're tumbled stones, so they are textured on all the sides except the bottom. And since I'm doing 2 rows here, the sand actually morphs pretty well. It gets into all the nooks and crannies of the tumbled stones and actually provides a very stable bed for these stones to sit on. To secure this row of edging in the ground, I dug down about 6 inches into the ground. So each stone is 4 inches tall, and then I'm using 4 inches of paver base, so we got the first 2 inches of the first row below grade. Also, since this is not a retaining wall, I don't have to worry about holding material back or any back pressure pushing it forward over time. Each one of these stones is about 15 pounds, and we're staggering them with 2 rows of it. So every foot of this run here is going to have 30 pounds of pressure pushing down at it at all times while being held together with landscape adhesive. So you have a greater chance of breaking your foot if you kick it than this thing falling apart over time from weather or anything else. The first row is installed and level, and I lined up the second row and got them in the order that we wanted to make it look the most visually appealing and laid out and hide any broken ones, etc., etc. Now the next piece is just applying the construction adhesive and stacking them together. Luckily, it takes about a week for the construction adhesive to fully cure, so as we're going here, if we need to make slight modifications to it, we have some working time to get the stones lined up how we want them to be. The rest of this is just rinse and repeat at this point. It's lay down glue, grab stones, and work your way down the line. Enjoy a quick little time lapse of the rest of the second row being installed. Now that the hard part is all done, enjoy these beauty shots of the final product. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it and landscaping my property. All the links to products I use are down below, and feel free to leave any questions or comments down below as well. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Until next time, have a good one.